this dieback disease. And 95, if you look at FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, it has brought out a paper which details the problem in neem tree. So Africa, most of the diseases started in Africa. And as Dr. Umadevi showed us, we had a lot of research, but that research, pertains to a particular period, maybe 1985 to maybe until 2000, and a few papers much later in 2010. But between 2010 and now to 21, almost 11 years, we have not seen any research on neem tree happening. Even before also, between 2000 and 2010, also not much research we are seeing. So even though India is a place of neem tree, government, investment and government focus on the neem tree is very minuscule or almost nothing. If you look at all the ICAR institutions, hardly we find any person or any scientist working exclusively on neem tree now. They were before in 90s. So right now we have different ICAR institutions, but today when this problem is now virulent or across India, I find a dearth of scientists focused to work on this. They are busy with some other work. I'm not saying they are idle. So they are busy with some other work, but they are not focusing on this important aspect, because once the neem tree, which has a pesticidal property, if it is affected, we think, what about other plants and vegetation? Now that I thought I'll flag that. Second, almost I think 10 years back, we have observed in Telangana, even in Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, there is one semi-looper, a small greenish insect. It attacked the foliage of neem tree. So it was a virulent attack. So within, 4 or 5 days, the entire leaves of neem tree were eaten by this semi-looper. At that time, I wrote to many of the ICAR scientists, almost 100 of them. I wrote to them, I said, what is happening, and can you explain how this is happening? Because the pesticidal properties of neem usually reside in the leaf, stem, and bark, and twigs. And this looper is eating the leaf itself. So that was a concern. And I have not seen any report or research paper coming out of that. I had one lady contacting me from Delhi saying, okay, we want to do, give us samples. I said, I can't, I don't have. So I think they access the samples through their institution. But today I don't see any report or anything, any outcome out of that research. So this is not a first time. I think that's what I want to flag. So that semi-looper, it seems, as other scientists told me, it used to attack some other crop, but maybe the lack of that crop, or because that crop is not being grown, it has shifted to neem plant is one of the explanations given. So this, I think, this shift, I think Dr. Umadevi mentioned the climatic conditions where pests, these known pests are attacking unknown species. This is what is happening, and we are seeing that in cotton and other crops as well, where new kinds of pests are attacking the crops. So it's not the traditional link between a crop and a particular kind of pests. So pests are increasingly attacking new areas. Like I think what we are seeing physically, where species from the forests are coming to human habitats, like monkeys are coming because they want food, or even elephants coming. So I think this phenomena of non-human life, shifting their habitats, shifting their food habits, or shifting their food sources. I think that's happening, and maybe it's happening in pests and all other bacteria and fungi as well. So I think that is one thing we need to understand. Second, as he also rightly said, there are abiotic stress. So environmental stresses are again a major problem, and that is where I thought it is very, very important, because as the soil carbon is decreasing, the minerals in the soils are decreasing, soil moisture is going down. Even though neem tree, is it's a very good. It grows very well only in dry land areas, not in wetland. It will not grow at all. So, but still, it requires some soil moisture. So it requires soil minerals. I think all those, the stress on those soil resources is also weakening the neem constitution, just like our immunity. What we have seen during corona, immunity is once your immunity is lowered, all kinds of diseases and attack you. I think this is again a factor which we need to understand. Third and final, I thought I'll come to the solutions. Now, which are again linked with what I mentioned earlier. Dr. Umadevi mentioned, what she has observed in the agriculture university and elsewhere. Even now, I feel we have not diagnosed the problem correctly. We have not done laboratory studies. We have not collected samples across India. So, because as I mentioned, there's no institution which is owning up this neem tree and working on that. So, right now, my challenge is still is we have not yet diagnosed this problem correctly. The dieback, or the the symptoms which we are looking at as dieback coming because of a particular fungi, I think there are the similar symptoms come because of other factors as well. I mean, that's what FAO literature is saying. So these symptoms are not just related to this particular pomposis or even tea bug. So I think there are other probably pests are involved in that. So my point is correct diagnosis has not been done yet. That's because resources are not being applied by the state. State means I mean the governments, central government, state government. So that's one thing. Second, whatever solutions, of course, IPM, integrated pest management strategies are being suggested, including pheromone traps or trichoderma. But the chemical solutions, I think my objection is to the chemical solutions which are being given. Again, they are experimental. I don't think they work, because we have seen, bomposis when it is endemic in brinjal and other crops. I think the spraying of these fungicides, or even whatever other chemicals are being given, I think that have not worked. So chemicals will not work is what I want to emphasize upon. Then what works? I think what works is, as I said, fundamentally first we should establish the disease diagnosis properly. As the science literature says, and Dr. Uma Devi also mentioned, different areas, different reasons could have led to this condition. In fact, I have seen this problem in Erode when I went there to study turmeric crop in 2015. So almost it took 6 years to see the same problem here in Telangana. So I think the spread is slow, but is it the same, or is it the what are the conditions which are leading to that spread? I think that we need to establish. So I feel whatever solutions we are talking, they are only interim solutions. But if you want sustainable solutions, I think we should ask the governments to undertake a serious, study, especially microscopic study on the disease and the conditions which are leading to that disease. So I stop here. Thank you, Sai Bhaskar.